Movie theater owners and employees are still digesting the big news from Regal. The movie theater giant announced it will be suspending operations at its more than 500 theaters on Thursday. And they partly blame Governor Cuomo for their decision to close down. Emily DeVito spoke to the owner of the Madison Theater about how small local theaters are making it through these tough times.
The Madison Theater is a staple here in the city of Albany, and it was recently revamped after new owners took over. It reopened in December, but it quickly had to shut down once the pandemic hit.
Theaters like the Madison that we have in Albany, they can't do this for much longer. I mean, this is not something we can sustain until next summer.
Kevin Parisi is a partner at the Madison Theater. He's reduced his staff to about 10%. Thankfully, he's been able to do dining since they offer food there. But he is unsure how much longer they can keep up with bills, as no clear guidance has been given on when movie theaters in New York can reopen. He says just like restaurants, bowling alleys, and casinos, theaters are ready to open with strict guidelines in place, including wearing masks, social distancing, lowering capacity, and strict cleaning protocols. Parisi says if they don't open, the economic impact will be huge.
Unfortunately, you're going to see this huge gap in millions of square feet of vacant entertainment space, which is critical to other retail. It's critical to all sorts of businesses, to the restaurants in the community.
We reached out to the governor's office regarding movie theaters reopening in the state. A spokesperson said, "We're moving heaven and earth trying to stop a second wave, and people need to acknowledge that we are still in a pandemic and start to act like it. We understand some people are unhappy, but you know what? Better unhappy than sick or worse." Parisi said that's an unfair answer from the governor's office. He says everyone is concerned about safety, but they're just looking for a timeline so they can plan for a reopening.
Even though we may get guidance that we can open by Christmas or by Thanksgiving, the reason you're seeing the announcements from Regal yesterday and Universal Studios and some of these big studios is because they can't just plan an opening tomorrow. They need to know months.
A waiting game for these theaters with no end in sight. Emily DeVito, News Channel 13.